Hello and welcome to a Twistedtools demo video for Colorflex. This is the Connecting Hardware Instruments to Colorflex video, and we'll be answering the following questions. How do I set up my MIDI setup for use with Colorflex? And how do I set up Colorflex to send MIDI out to my hardware? Colorflex can be used to control any MIDI-capable instruments you have in your studio. To do so requires a bit of setup, but isn't very difficult at all. For this example, I will use Reactor as a standalone application with the Colorflex example ensemble loaded. I will control a Moog Voyager and route audio of the Moog back into the mixer instrument inside of Colorflex. If you'd like to do this from within the plugin version, you could follow the same instructions provided that your host software supports software instrument MIDI out and that you are using the VST version of Reactor. Unfortunately, Logic users won't be so lucky because audio units typically don't send MIDI out. However, if you own Core 2, you could get this to work, so please see the Logic Core 2 video for details. Let's get started. First off, open Colorflex. Go to your Reactor System Audio MIDI settings, and make sure that all the devices you'd like to control with Colorflex are set up to receive MIDI from Reactor in the Output Interface section by choosing On. Now, click the Panel Sets button in the upper left-hand corner and choose the MIDI Setup panel set. I haven't used channel 4 in Colorflex yet, so I'd like to set that up. If you'd like color zones that send MIDI out on channel number 4 to be sent to a specific instrument rather than all instruments in your studio, double-click the MIDI note channel 4 instrument and click on the tab at the far right of the Properties window. Then, in the MIDI out device menu, choose the device or devices you'd like to respond to events sent on channel number 4. I will choose port 2 since that is where my Moog is connected on my MIDI interface. Repeat this process for all the MIDI note channel instruments and MIDI CC channel instruments you see in the panel set that you plan on using with external modules. Now we are ready to connect the audio from our hardware back into Reactor. To do so, we'll cable the audio inputs from our interface directly into the Colorflex mixer. If you are working with the plugin version, you should probably just route the audio return from your synths into audio tracks in your host software. Go back to the main panel set and click the Panel Sets button again to close the area. Click on the Structure button and cable the audio in to the mixer. Since my Moog is cabled to audio inputs 5 and 6 of my interface, I will drag from 5 and 6 to the first set of free inputs of my mixer. Now, all I need to do is set a colored zone area to go out channel number 4 and activate cells in the grid to send MIDI to that instrument.